Billionaires rarely do what? The secret Betty Okocha carried was worth $3 billion. The bicycle she rode? A choice. The humble clothes? A disguise. The silence she kept? A weapon. And Elizabeth Obi, with her fake designer bags and her rented confidence, had just declared war on the wrong girl. What happens when the hunted becomes the hunter? When the victim holds all the cards? When the queen bee discovers she's been stinging a lioness? This is that story. And trust me, you've never heard anything like it. Before we begin, hit that like button if you love a good revenge story. Subscribe and turn on all notifications because this tale has more twists than a pretzel factory. And drop a comment right now telling me, where are you watching from and what time is it? Now, let me take you back to where the nightmare, or should I say, Elizabeth's nightmare, truly began. The Lamborghini purred in the driveway like a caged panther, its midnight black finish gleaming under the morning sun. Betty Okocha stared at it, then at her rusty bicycle leaning against the garage wall. "Betty, for God's sake!" her father thundered from the doorway of their sprawling mansion. "You're worth $3 billion. Stop this madness." She swung her leg over the bicycle seat, adjusting her faded denim jacket. Money doesn't define me, Dad. My character does." As she pedaled away, she caught her father's exasperated sigh. He'd never understand. 4 years in America had taught her that true power wasn't in what you owned, it was in who you were when no one was watching. Great Hope College rose before her like a monument to excess. Ferraris, Bentleys, and Maybachs clogged the parking lot. Betty chained her bicycle to a rusted rack, acutely aware of the designer-clad students emerging from their luxury vehicles, their judging eyes following her every move. "Oh my God, is that thing even safe to ride?" Betty turned. Elizabeth Obi stood there, dripping in Chanel, her entourage flanking her like a royal guard. Her lip curled in disgust as she examined Betty's modest appearance. I know Great Hope has a charity program, but I didn't think they'd let in people who literally can't afford transportation. Elizabeth's voice rang out, deliberately loud. "What's next? Homeless shelters on campus." Laughter erupted. Betty met Elizabeth's gaze with unsettling calmness. "Is that your way of saying good morning?" Elizabeth's eyes flashed with irritation. She wasn't used to her prey refusing to cower. The harassment became Elizabeth's daily sport. Rumors spread like wildfire. Betty was a scholarship case. Her clothes came from thrift stores. She shared a studio apartment with 6 roommates. Each lie was more elaborate than the last, and Elizabeth delivered them with the precision of a master puppeteer. Then came the assembly that changed everything. "We're thrilled to announce an anonymous donation of $5 million to our scholarship fund," the principal declared. The auditorium erupted in applause and frenzied speculation. By lunch, Elizabeth had weaponized even this. "Obviously Alex Thompson made that donation," she announced to anyone who'd listen, gesturing to the kind-hearted student who'd befriended Betty. "And obviously that little charity case manipulated him into it. It's pathetic, really. Using people for their money." Alex confronted her in the hallway. "You don't know what you're talking about, Elizabeth." "Don't I?" Elizabeth's smile was venomous. "Wake up, Alex. She's playing you." But the cracks in Elizabeth's empire were beginning to show. The autumn gala arrived, Elizabeth's carefully orchestrated stage for social domination. She'd planned everything: the entrance, the outfit, the dramatic revelation of her superior status. What she hadn't planned for was Betty's voice. When Betty took the microphone for the talent showcase, the room fell silent. She closed her eyes and sang, not a pop song or a rehearsed performance, but a raw, aching melody that seemed to pull emotions from the very air. Her voice soared and dipped, telling stories of struggle and triumph without a single word needed. When the final note faded, even Elizabeth's closest allies were on their feet, applauding thunderously. Elizabeth's hands trembled with rage. This wasn't supposed to happen. Desperation breeds recklessness. 2 days later, Elizabeth announced the party of the century at her family's estate, a sprawling mansion that would prove, once and for all, her superiority. The night of the party, social media exploded with photos. Elizabeth posed on a grand staircase, champagne in hand, boasting about her family's legacy. The marble columns, the crystal chandeliers, the priceless art, all captured in perfect detail. Betty was having dinner with her father when her phone began buzzing uncontrollably. She opened Instagram and froze. That staircase. That chandelier. The Monet in the background her mother had purchased in Paris. "Dad," she said quietly, "isn't Mom's housekeeper named Mrs. Obi?" The truth detonated across campus like a bomb. Elizabeth's mother worked at the mansion. Elizabeth's family owned nothing. She'd snuck in during the Okocha family's absence, playing dress-up in someone else's life. By Monday, Elizabeth's world had collapsed. Worse, the IT department had found something, fabricated screenshots on Elizabeth's laptop, doctored to frame Betty for academic dishonesty. A bullying campaign meticulously documented in deleted emails and messages. The expulsion was immediate. But hatred, when it festers, becomes dangerous. 3 weeks later, Betty stayed late at the library, working on a charity proposal. The campus was dark when she finally left. A van screeched to a stop beside her. Hands grabbed her. A cloth covered her face. Darkness swallowed her whole. She woke bound to a chair in a warehouse, her head throbbing. Elizabeth stood before her, phone raised, recording. Beside her stood Richard Chen, whose claimed family fortune had also proven fictional. "Let's see how perfect you look begging for mercy," Elizabeth spat, her face twisted with malice. "This goes viral tonight. Your reputation destroyed." Betty's voice was steady, almost gentle. "What did I ever do to you, Elizabeth? Really? You exist." Elizabeth screamed. "You walked into my school with nothing and made me look small. I never tried to make you look like anything. You did that yourself." Elizabeth's hand rose to strike, but the warehouse doors exploded inward. Alex burst through, followed by a team of security guards. Betty's father appeared behind them, his face terrible with protective fury. Richard ran. Elizabeth stood frozen as handcuffs clicked around her wrists. As police led her away, Elizabeth looked back one final time. Betty's eyes held no triumph, no vengeance, only a deep, aching sadness for the broken girl who'd chosen darkness. Weeks later, Betty sat in the campus garden, the late afternoon sun warming her face. Alex approached, holding 2 coffee cups. "You still ride that ridiculous bicycle," he said, smiling. "Always will." He sat beside her, their hands finding each other naturally. "You know what I love about you. You had every reason to become bitter, to hit back, to use your power to crush her. But you didn't." Betty leaned her head on his shoulder. "Revenge doesn't heal wounds. Kindness does." In the distance, her rusty bicycle leaned against a tree, a testament to the girl who chose substance over sparkle, character over cash. And in that choice, she'd found something no amount of money could buy: genuine love, real friendship, and the unshakable knowledge of her own worth. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy this story, like, subscribe and comment where and what time you are watching from.